Breaking news la Antena 3, doamnelor și domnilor. Unul din cei mai reputați analiști ai Ucrainei pe probleme de securitate, politică externă și apărare, dr. Hanna Shelest, mi-a acordat un interviu în legătură cu evoluțiile extrem de complicate ale invaziei rusești în Ucraina. Hanna Shelest este un cunoscător în profunzime al problemelor. Ea participă la toate dezbaterile, la toate seminariile care se organizează chiar și acum în diverse țări de pe flancul estic, în Statele Unite sau la Bruxelles. Hanna Shelest vine cu informații extrem de prețioase. Ca un foarte bun cunoscător și redactor șef la Ucraina Analytica, prezintă elemente foarte relevante pentru noi. Veți vedea că menționează și România. De ce și în ce context al războiului declanșat de Rusia în Ucraina, vedeți chiar acum într-un interviu pentru Punctul de Întâlnire pentru Antena 3, dr. Hanna Shelest.
Dr. Hanna Shelest, editor-in-chief of Ukraine Analytica, one of the best experts for security and international relations in Ukraine. It's together with us. Thank you, Hanna Shelest, for being with us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Dr. Shelest, do you think that Russia still has the military power to launch an offensive and to conquer Odessa?
Theoretically, yes, but the question is, do they have capacities right now? First of all, you need to understand that you need not only forces for the amphibious operation, but you need a supply and you need a backup, because just operation from the sea, it's quite a suicidal considering the air defense and other equipment that Ukraine have to protect the coast. So for this, you need to have a proper supply from Crimea to Odessa. It means occupying not only Kherson, but also Mykolaiv and other towns on the way. As we see now, Mykolaiv is standing strong. We even have the counterattacks. So definitely Russians are not in the position to have this supply chain from Crimea. The second thing is that also even for the amphibious operation, you need to have a full control of the air force. After losing of Moskva ship, Russians lost the superiority in the air near Odessa coast. And as for now, they try not to be in the territorial waters of Ukraine because they are becoming quite a good targets for the Ukrainian armed forces. That's why it seems to me that as for now, what we can see, it is the shelling of Odessa, it is some sabotage operations, but not the full-fledged attack that really can allow them to control the whole northwest of Ukraine.
We see the brave and very successful Ukrainian army facing the bloody invasion from Russia. Do you think that Vladimir Putin is capable of using a nuclear weapon against Ukraine?
I think no, definitely with Mr. Putin, a lot of things became irrational and illogical, and he can go as far as only he can imagine. But at the same time, it seems to me that for him now, nuclear weapon is important as a leverage, as demonstrating that he has something that many European countries don't have. As soon as he's using the tactical nuclear weapon against Ukraine, it doesn't matter what will be the consequences in terms of the casualties, but as soon as he's losing this last argument, his biggest argument against the Western support of Ukraine. So it seems to me that as for now, he is definitely not ready to use it just to threaten others that he can use, because it gives him a little bit of the power, psychological power, as he can see the situation.
Dr. Shelest, what does Ukraine need to win this war?
There are a lot of things. First is definitely Ukraine needs support from our partners. Heavy weapons, and it's not because we would like to be offensive, but because the nature of war changed. And as for now, Russians are using a lot of the long-range missiles, for example. So that's why we need the anti-aircraft air defense systems. We need anti-ship systems to protect the coast, because Russians are using more and more submarines to launch caliber-sized missile against not only Odessa, but other parts of Ukraine. So that is definitely what Ukraine needs in terms of military supply. The second, we need more sanctions. And that's not because we are so capricious and think that we need to punish the Russian Federation for their misdoing, but also because we see the exact consequences of what is happening. Russia already is not able to produce tanks, for example, because of the sanctions. They already stopped several enterprises that were very important for the military industry. We also see those who are becoming dissatisfied with what Russia is doing inside of the country. And just the Western companies, when they are leaving, that is, first of all, the money that they paid, the taxes that they paid to the Russian budget. If the Russian budget would not have the surplus of funding, it means they will have less opportunity to spend on the missiles against Ukraine. But also Ukraine already needs the support in terms of economic and social well-being, because we understand perfectly that Ukrainian economy should work, and a lot of the industries are not able to work now. The biggest problem is with the export. You know, the old ports are closed and the grains are in the storage facility. So it's not only the question of Ukraine that we are not able to sell it, but also the food security of the Middle East and Asia, who dependent on Ukrainian grains. And that is good that we are now searching for the routes, for example, from Odessa to Constanța in Romania as an alternative. And it sounds so nice. Oh, that's easy. From Odessa to Constanța should be closed. But you need to understand that one ship, it is approximately 5,000 tracks. You need to have these tracks. You need to have the insurance companies, and you also need Constanța port to be capable to work with these additional cargoes that they didn't have before. So in this way, we cannot say that that is some issue that only Ukraine can solve. We would definitely need support of our neighbors and of other governments who should help with these alternative routes.
The Romanian government took some emergency decisions to enhance the capability of Port of Constanța to receive the grains from Ukraine, which is a good news. But the bad news is that the Russians are more and more violent to the Serpent Island, which was a tiny island in the Black Sea and now became a strategic position very close to NATO border, very close to Romanian border. And we saw some military offensive success of Ukrainian defense, but still the Serpent Island is occupied by the Russians. And if they are taking, they can block all the commercial routes to the northern of the Black Sea and to Odessa, which is the most important port of Ukraine. How do you see the battle for the Serpent Island?
As for now, we understand perfectly that we cannot return back the Serpent Island because, like physically, we can't return it back. The question is, can we keep it? Yep, can we sustain it there? So that is why the issue is that for Ukraine now is important to deteriorate Russians there, to make them impossible to be there, and for them to lose capacities of what they were bringing. We already destroyed their systems for the air defense, not only Moscow ship, but other systems that they were bringing to the island. We destroyed some of the supply ships that they were sending there, and Ukraine would continue doing it as many times as necessary. One of the reasons exactly not to allow Russians to disturb the safety of navigation near the Romanian border, because Odessa, they already closed. So here there is no option. There are plenty of ways how they closed it. But we understand that as for now, Russia is still afraid to threaten and to challenge NATO member states, especially after we have the decision that the NATO battle group will be stationed in Romania. That is becoming more dangerous for Russians to attack. That's why as soon as we will able to build logistics in such a way that Ukrainians are spoiling the holidays of Russians on the Serpent Island, and Romania is making the route that they can use only Romanian territorial waters till the safe place, it seems to me it can work.
It seems that the Russian invaders are withdrawing from Kharkiv, and they are trying somehow to keep Donetsk and Luhansk. And some military analysts says that maybe they will withdraw a bit from the east and they will launch the offensive in the summer for the south of Ukraine. Do you agree with this?
First of all, we need to understand that they are not withdrawing voluntarily from Kharkiv. It is the very heavy fightings happening there. So with this withdrawal, it is a losing of their power. There's losing of their personnel. So that's why Kharkiv is not the easy walking back home for them. When you think about East, they definitely will not withdraw from there because Donetsk and Lugansk are extremely important for them strategically, and also because they're already controlling part of it since 2014. In terms of the South, to go just to Mykolaiv, that would be very difficult for them because we're also building our defense line over here. We understand the threats, and we already started the counter-offense operation in Kherson region. It is not so active as near Kharkiv because the main efforts are now there. But at the same time, if you read the daily news, you can see that Russians withdrew already from Mykolaiv region. And now there are some counterattacks happening around Kherson. By autumn, we have 3 months. So as you can imagine, Ukraine, as soon as we started receiving all this equipment from the Western countries that had been promised after Ramstein meeting, Ukraine will have more opportunities to go further in Kherson region.
Dr. Shelest, what is your evaluation about the health status of Vladimir Putin?
Only his doctors know his status, that's for sure. The only thing that I would say that we have these gossips about his bad health for the last 10 years at least, with different diagnoses. And some of experts already start talking, what if all is okay with his health, and that is just the psychological operation. So everybody would think and hope that he is dying while he is just playing and making even his inner circle fight for the power, like competing, but still being strong and doing wherever he wants. So it seems to me that his health is important, but we need to understand that the current policy of the Russian Federation is not only Mr. Putin. So even if tomorrow he dies, it's not changing the situation because unfortunately there are still people like Lavrov, Shoigu, and Kirienko and all others who have the same ideas, and we are not sure that the war will finish just with the death of Russian president.
Concluding this interview, I would like to ask you, what do you think? This is a war between Russia and Ukraine, or it's between Russia and the civilized world and a danger for the whole Europe?
You know, this war is twofold because for Russia, it is definitely about their place in the world. So they are threatening the whole world, Western world as they see it. So what they're fighting, and you can find it in many of their statements, that when they started losing, they started saying that they are losing not to the Ukrainian armed forces, but because NATO is there. So definitely they're trying to associate it with the global war that they have. But at the same time, for them, it is very personal anti-Ukrainian. And that's, you can understand from the statements of Mr. Putin and some of the leadership of members of parliament when they're saying about eliminating Ukraine, eliminating Ukrainians as a nation. So all those genocidal statements that they make, de facto, they're very personal anti-Ukrainian. For them, Ukrainian state is a danger because it's competes with their vision of authoritarian regime, and it competes with their vision of the Russian imperialistic ideas. So that's why it is both. You can't say it is just Russian-Ukrainian or it is Russian-Western war. For Mr. Putin, it is both, and that's why it is becoming more and more complicated with each day.
Dr. Hanna Shelest, thank you for this interview.
Thank you for the invitation.